Another key component you can use in a why somebody should hire you segment of your presentation is what I would describe as effective price versus value counseling. Being able to convey to the client the value counseling and the pricing strategy is really critical in being able to separate you from the competition of other agents. The fundamental mistake that most agents are guilty of is using what I would call wrong terminology. The buzzword most agents use is price or price of the home when they're discussing the property. Now, this word is incorrect because it's really not about the price. You're not trying to affix the price. It's really about the value. You're trying to determine the value of the home based on today's market conditions. So the first step in effective price value counseling or discussion is being able to use the word value instead of price and functionally throwing the word price out the window. We need to focus the client on what the value of their home is today in today's market conditions, in today's marketplace, based on the influences of the marketplace, based on the law of supply and demand today. What's the value? Now, when we look at price and then the influence of price, it's really fundamentally connected to marketing and marketing strategy. The raising or lowering of price of something creates a layer or a smaller pool of potential purchasers or a larger pool of potential purchasers based on how the potential purchasers perceive the value or the span between the value and the price. We're all making our buying decisions based on value. And our job as champion agents is to position the property relatively close to value to widen the pool of prospective purchasers. Price is clearly a function of marketing, not of value. So let me give you an example so I can give you some legs on this discussion, if you will. A 10-year-old BMW 7 Series car has a certain value. Now, you could price it at $100,000, but the real value of the car is substantially less than that. In fact, the Kelley Blue Book value right now is right around $15,000. So what you've got to look at is what are the odds pricing the car at $100,000 or even $50,000 that you would receive even close to those figures. And my view is, as they say in Texas, that would be slim to none, and slim just left town. You've got to price it closer to that value of $15,000 to get anybody anywhere near serious about looking at that vehicle and functionally buying that vehicle if you want to sell it. So you're going to be there forever trying to price it at $100,000 when the value of the BMW is roughly $15,000. So to demonstrate our value and why we should be hired, we need to separate price from the value discussion. And we must secure agreement, in my view, in terms of the value of the property and getting commitment from them that this is the value of the property before we proceed to strategic marketing or any kind of price discussion. In the end, the value of the home is what we're trying to reflect in our CMA. We're not trying to determine the price of the home because that's fundamentally a marketing decision. We're trying to affect and create the value of the home in the CMA. Now, understand the CMA reflects the value of the property based on today's market conditions. A CMA is not good for an unlimited amount of time. It's good for basically now. Too many agents still believe that price and value are interchangeable, but they're not. Value relates to what something is really worth based on the open marketplace, what one could expect to receive in money compensation in the free market. It doesn't matter what the value was last year or even last month or even last week. The truth is, what is the value now? The value is determined by the conditions and the influences of the marketplace. It's influenced by the replaceability of the product that you're trying to sell. Too often, sellers get hung up on the fact when the marketplace shifts against them, so to speak, that their property was worth more before. Well, they don't want to view the reality that their home was worth $750,000 a year ago, and today, based on supply and demand, it's only worth $680,000. Value is extended by the scarcity of something and the ease of replaceability with something similar or something equal or something better in terms of product or service. In essence, this all connects back with the law of supply and demand and your ability to educate and coach them through, if you will, the law of supply and demand, because that's what creates value. So let me give you a script again in terms of this that you might use, and that's Mr. Smith. Many agents are more concerned with seeing the listing rather than having a real conversation about the value of your property. They'll talk in terms of price and not in terms of value. And they'll get you all worked up about the price and set you up for a big surprise later on. And the question is, do you want the truth now, or would you prefer the truth later? Again, that sets the stage. Then maybe another script would be, Mr. Smith, let's agree to talk in terms of value, what your home is actually worth based on today's market conditions. So once we've agreed on that, then we can talk about price and pricing strategy, which is functionally a marketing strategy to indicate and increase the interest of potential buyers in the marketplace. Is that agreeable with you? My friends, you've got to focus on the value and convey that value and get them focused on the value, so then you can get agreement that that is the value of the home based on today's market conditions. Now, they may want to try to get a little bit more, or they may want to start a little bit higher, but at the end of the day, they've got to come to the conclusion that that is what the value of the home is based on today's market conditions, and that is great sales strategy for you as well as for them. It gets them focused on what you want to focus them on, and you can deal with them in a real element that enables you to create the value that you're trying to bring to the table for them, and that you are showing them the truth about the marketplace, which means that you're going to take better listings, you're going to take more listings, and you're going to do it in a manner that positions you as the professional and knowledgeable expert in the marketplace compared to everybody else that you're competing with.